Hi, this asset is a scalable solution for accelerating API modernization journey across industries such as banking industry, insurance industry, retail industries, and then healthcare industries. This asset demonstrates how enterprise banking APIs developed on IBM API Connect V5 can be modernized and migrated to IBM API Connect V10 using the two-phase approach. That is, using in the first phase using a tool called IBM Intelligent Automation Migration Utility, and in phase 2 using IBM BOB as an AI-assisted remediation tool. Although IBM provides a migration tooling, but migrating enterprises APIs from V5 to V10 at a scale presents several technical and operational challenges. This includes deprecated gateway script patterns. It has the overt config mismatch in V10 services and the compatibility issues with API gateway services. To address these challenges, I have developed a two-phase AI accelerated migration approach that automates repeatable migration tasks and intelligently resolves compatibility issues without impacting the existing business functionality. In this phase one, which consists of utilizing an intelligent automation migration tool, with this we can automate a large-scale IBM API Connect V5 um, migration artifacts to V10 to V10 activities by performing by converting API definitions from V5 to V10 and matching the policies which are deprecated or in lower version to a next versions and thirdly we can assemble the assembly structures with minimal manual interventions. This has three-step process involved. The step one consists of a folder structure where you have all the artifacts stored for V5 migrations. That is your YAML file, your gateway scripts, OAuth file details, and step two consists of configuration file which contains information about the source and target parts, the policy substitutions rules, and the logging and mapping config details. The step three consists of a CLI command to execute the instructions and real-time console outputs and the policy conversions details on in the as log information. In this phase, in this phase, you get a structured output for different artifacts, such as you get V10 compatible YAML files on this in the folder structures. You get the logs, different logs per APIs, which talks about the different issues and the deprecated functions along it. You have a target folder organized into it, and the console summary report about how this different API has behaved during the migration process. After the migrations, the API is imported into the V10 environment for validation. During this validation phase, certain gateway scripts may require additional remediations. Some V5 gateway business logic patterns can't be fully converted or migrated through this automated migration tooling alone. This requires a targeted API refactoring to preserve the original API functionalities and the runtime behaviors. This is where the phase 2 begins with an IBM BOB as an AI assistant remediation tool. In this phase 2, where the IBM bots play a critical role in the migration process, by providing structured prompts along the migrated YAML files and the generated logs. IBM Bob intelligently analyzes the remaining gateway scripts issues and assist in rebuilding and optimizing the business logics into the V10 native gateway code without impacting the existing functionalities behavior of the APIs. it has five different steps, which it starts from giving the prompt about what the task has to be performed by the IBM tool, BOB tool, and once the prompt is fed into it, IBM BOB will analyze any deprecated codes available and different issues around it. Step 3, it rebuilds the gateway scripts and other components into a newly written native codes. Number 4 step is that the original API is conserved, the behavior is conserved, so there is no there is no break in the logic over there. And once it is validated, you can re-import and redeploy to the API server to check whether they are successfully converted or not. Then the key benefit using this IBM tool is here that it accelerates your timelines of your developments, and it reduces manual efforts. It provides consistency across different APIs in terms of the structures and code. It provides you the functionality as it does not break the business logic into it. So this is a high-level end-to-end flow, migration flow. It starts with your V5 API portfolio, which consists of your YAML files, your gateway scripts, OAuth configuration details, and many more into it. And phase 1 starts by using the migration utility tools, which converts your V10 artifacts into written artifacts along with extra logs for error information. You do a validation check by running onto the gateway services. If not, if there are some problems, you run into phase 2, where you take assistance of IBM BOB, which is used as an IBM remediation tool, so that it can refactor your code using AI, and then without breaking your business logics, and then you can redeploy your code into the servers again. So the key outcomes from this artifact, from this end-to-end flow, is that it can automate a large scale migration from V5 to V10. The codes in V10s are consistent and of much high quality across all the APIs. It has zero business logic regressions or breakdowns. It has less time for productions. Okay, here we go for a quick demo. So I move to the command prompt. So this is my Linux environment where I am running the migration asset. So it is right now hosted on the Red Hat Linux environment. So this is a folder over here. So this is a folder, and if you look at the folder structure, so you can see it has 3 different folders. Number 01 account data APIs, 02 payment transaction APIs, and 03 core banking transaction APIs. So each of these folders have different APIs in the YAML format. So we have 3 over here, 3 over here, 4 over here. So this means 10 APIs altogether in this in this bucket. So what I will do, I will try to run the command for the phase 1, so I can see. So I will run this command. So now it is trying to scan all the respective folders and try to read all the APIs which is in the YAML format one by one. So this tool is now trying to read and trying to convert it out. So it's reading this file, YAML file. This is reading to YAML file, and it is putting into target directory into this one with the name of the output directory. The output file name is your API gateway. You can see that name has been changed. Okay, and the old name is this one, OTP, and new name is macrokicks underscore API gateway, right? So this is the new file. The new migrated API file is in this format. So you can see it migrated all these APIs for all the structures. 02 payment file, then it's 01. Similarly for 03 it is already done. Also it has done it. And if you see the output, right, it thinks that all the migration has been completed successfully. There is no error over here. and you will get all the artifacts relating to V10 migration in this folder. Okay, if I go and see where is the folder over here, so I can say it is in the V10 migration artifacts, right? So if I go inside this folder, so and I run this command, so it tells me what is how this folder has been has been structured in a hierarchy format. So it is trying to, it is within this folder, within this folder, and the next folder is created with a new name, and within this new name you can see, and the matter API gateway is stored in this file, and its corresponding logs and other information are stored in a log directory. So this is how each and every API have been scanned, and its logs and migrated APIs have been stored, and the corresponding log and log errors and input log errors have been present in the log directory. So this is consistent to all these APIs into it. Okay, and if you want to see in the Bob, right, so it is already converted it already converted all these 10 APIs together, right? So if we want to say in APIs and to validate it whether this API has been migrated successfully or not, let's dive into it. So I go to this tool, API manager tool, and click on APIs and say select, go open existing API. So I have this folder in V10 migration artifacts in the account data. So let me choose this one file. So I import this out. Okay, and this is on the version 1. So okay, and we will go to the policies. We can see there are some dead marks over here. So different policies have dead marks. So looks like this has not been migrated successfully, and there is some dependencies, or the code has been deprecated, or some functionality has been deprecated in normal use. So we need to go to this policy and try to change the value manually, or if not, we can get into the phase 2 where we want to leverage IBM BOB as a remediation tool, so that we want to modify this code according to the business logics, and the Bob will help us to write it the code and give it back to us for the deployment. So what we say, this is an error over there, so we are not going to use this API. So let me delete this API, and we'll ask Bob to generate a new API out of it. So I move on to a Bob tool, right? So I have my Bob tool over here. Okay, so what I'm interested in, I want to convert all these YAML file, right, inside these folders. Okay, which are having some errors in terms of the conversion code. So we want to try to update it out with the help of IBM Bobs, which can be used as a remediation tool for this phase 2. Okay, so what I give the prompt to a Bob and ask them to run it out and perform this task in the prompt. So it's trying to read all the instructions regarding the prompt we have given to task input to act on it. So Bob is still trying to act on the tasks that we have asked him to do. So right, so the Bob has completed all these migration, all the tasks and given me a generated a report out of it. So I will not go to in report, but I want to test the API which has been migrated or not successfully, so that I can import it into my API server. So what I do, I go back to my server and click on add. I take the YAML file over here. So you can see it has given me a second version V2 of this YAML file, and if I go to the gateway policies, so there is no error now. So looks like it has rectified all the errors as per the new V10 formats, and we want to save this YAML files. Okay, before that, um, let me save it out. So I have saved this YAML file now, and I want to publish it out. Okay, so it has been published successfully, right? This API has been published successfully, and you can see on the developer portal. It is online, so I can test it out all these APIs functionality over here. Okay, coming back to our deck. So I want to summarize that saying that this asset highlights how the combination of intelligent automation, medicine utility, and IBM BOB as an AI assistant remediation tool can streamline and modernize your IBM API Connect migration initiatives with different customers. Thank you very much.